So today we're working on some real world problems and some plotting on line plots. So let's start off with 6 friends shared several foot-long submarine sandwiches. The table shows the amount each friend ate. Make a line plot of the lengths in the table. So we have one friend ate 1/3, one friend ate 1/3, one friend ate 1/3, another friend ate 1/2, another 1/4, and finally 1/4. So 1/4 appears twice, 1/3 appears 1, 2, 3 times, and 1/2 just appears once. So when we make the line plot, we put the x's above the fraction based on how many times it occurs. So 1/4 shows up twice, so I would put 2 x's. 1/3 shows up 3 times, so I would put 3 x's. And 1/2 just shows up once, so I would put 1x. 0 and 1/2 didn't show up at all. The final step is that we put a title to the line plot, so I'm going to title this one Sub Sandwiches. Okay, so working with the same data, they want us to work on fair share. So fair share is an amount that everyone would receive if it was divided equally. So if some people got 1/4 and 1/3, it wasn't shared equally. So there's 2 steps to this. First step is you add all of the fractions together, and then the second step is you divide by the number of fractions there are. So I'm going to flip back to the other page. We notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers that we're adding together. So when we add these numbers all together, we're then going to divide by 6 because there's 6 numbers total. So the book has a little bit of a funky way to do it, so I'll show you their way, but I'm going to show you my preferred method after that. So they are saying that there's 2 1/4, so 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4 or 1/2. So they're saying the 1/4 are equal to 1/2, and they're saying 1/3, there's 3 of them, so 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is 3/3 or 1/2. And then there's 1 1/2. So the 1/4 is equal to 1/2, the thirds is equal to 1/2, and the amounts for halves is equal to 1/2. And they're saying 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 2 wholes. For me, I like to use our good practice of making common denominators. So I know the common denominator, the least common multiple of 4, 3, and 2 is 12. So 1/4, if I was going to make that into 12, I would multiply by 3. That would be 3/12. And 1/3, if I was going to make that into 12, I would multiply by 4. That would be 4/12. And finally, 1/2, if I was going to make that into 12s, I would multiply by 6, and I would get 6/12. So what I would want to do is instead of writing 1/4, whenever 1/4 shows up, I would write 3/12. And instead of writing 1/3, I would write 4/12. And instead of writing 1/2, I would write 6/12. So on the other side, it was 1/3. So I write 4/12 plus 1/3, which is 4/12, plus 1/3, which is 4/12, plus, I believe it was 1/2 next. Yes, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/2. So that is the same as 6/12, plus, then it was 1/4, so that's 3/12, plus another 3/12. So if I add all of these together, that's 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24. So if I added those all together, that's 24/12, which, if you simplify, equals to 2 wholes. So you get the same answer, either doing it their way or doing it my way. This is just a little more methodical and helps you not have as many mistakes. So we're going to take that 2 whole sandwiches, and if we divided it equally among our 6 people, that would be, and you have to remember when you divide something that's smaller, that becomes your numerator, and your second number, your divisor, becomes your denominator. 2, 6, I can simplify that, divide top and bottom by 2, and I get 1/3. So if they took those 2 sandwiches and they divided them equally among all the friends who got them, each one would get 1/3 of a sandwich. So if the sandwiches were divided equally, each one would get 1/3. So I would like you to take a moment, try and make a line plot down here with your 0 mark being here and your 1 mark being here. Mark out where would 1/2 be and 1/4. Make your X's and then see if you can determine the fair share. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, ready? So your 1/2 mark would be right here, right in the middle of 0 and 1. And your 1/4 mark would be right in the middle of 1/2 and 0. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. And then I have 1, 2, 3 1/2. So I do 1, 2, and 3. So that's my line plot. It says amount of juice, so I'm going to title it juice. And then to make my fair shares, 1/4 is fine, and I'm going to make 1/2 into fourths by multiplying the top and bottom by 2 to be 2/4. So anywhere that I see 1/4, I'm going to put 1/4, and anywhere I see 1/2, I'm going to put 2/4. So I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 2/4 plus 2/4. Oh, it looks like I missed 1/2 on my line plot, so there should be 4 X's above the 1/4 and 4 X's above the 1/2. Then back to this, plus 1/4 plus 2/4. So I add those up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12/4. And if you divide that and simplify, you get 3 whole gallons of juice. And then I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to take my 3 whole gallons of juice and I'm going to divide by the 8 people sharing the juice. And when I'm dividing, that smaller number is my numerator, my quotient. Sorry, my quotient is my 3/8. Numerator, denominator. So my fair share would be if everyone got 3/8 of a gallon of juice. So I'd like you to try the next page on the front and the back, and in the description box below, you'll find answers to some of the problems.